Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pokemon White. So, in the last part, we went into the Ice Series gym and defeated the gym leader Brycen. Then after that, we got informed by the Shadow Triad that apparently N has gone off, wants to meet us over at a Dragonspiral Tower. So we're gonna go there. But first off, before we get to that, wild encounter time! And here's one already. Yeah, the Pokemon where its name got confused by the majority of people. Because, yeah, especially within, like, the first time we saw this Pokemon in the anime. Yeah, during the debut appearance of this Pokemon, yeah, the episode kept calling it Mienfoo, so you would think that would have been the official name, but later on, yeah, and this also goes into its evolution as well too. Yeah, now this Pokemon is now essentially called Mienfoo, the martial arts Pokemon. Yeah, and as you can probably tell by its stance, yeah, Mienfoo is indeed a fighting type. But however, this fighting type, yeah, considering that you get this Pokemon very late into the game, so you're probably not going to be using it very much. And especially during Pokemon Black and White anyway. Cause, yeah, if you want to evolve it, yeah, you have to wait until it reaches level 50. Yeah, freaking level 50. Which is most likely something that you're not going to reach until you get to post-game when you pretty much get to post-game, most likely. So, yeah, I don't think you would really want to use this Pokemon that much. Yeah, which is why I have never really considered utilizing Mienfoo once. Yeah, but anyways, everyone, that's when you have a Pokemon that you can find here. Now this is another location where you can find deerlings. And then during, if it just so happen to be here, during the winter, that's where you actually are able to get to the very top of where that dark grass is up there. Yeah, that's where you'll be able to go up there so that you'll be able to counter more ice types. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'll actually be able to encounter not only wild Vanillish, but also wild Beartix, as well too. Oh, here it is. Yep, but during the other seasons, you can have yourself a chance to encounter this dragon type, a Druddigon. Now, Druddigon can actually be a really tough cookie to defeat. Yeah, Druddigon is actually definitely one of the more, while it may not be one of the more popular dragons out there, but it is definitely one of the more tougher ones to defeat. Especially if you're trying to make physical contact with it, because yeah, Druddigon actually one of Druddigon's abilities is actually Rough Skin. Yeah, the very same ability that Carvaha and Sharpedo have. Yeah, meaning that, yeah, if you make physical contact with it, then you will take a little bit of damage from it. And also not to mention that Druddigon is quite a resilient Pokemon, where it not only has some good defenses, but also it does have some good attack power to it as well. So yeah, Druddigon is actually a very good Pokemon if you want to be able to utilize it now if you want to. But as for me, I never really considered utilizing one anytime. I just never really thought if I should consider using it. But anyways, there we go. Now we also got Druddigon, the cave Pokemon. Yeah, even though Druddigon usually live in caves, apparently they just sometimes appear in the grass. Sometimes they appear in the grass for some reason. Yeah. But anyways, everyone, now we have a Pokemon that you can find during that area of Dragonspiral Tower is actually the evolution of Deerling. That of course being Sauce. Of course being Sauce. Of course, that Pokemon being Sauce. Saucebuck. So if you want to skip out on Deerling, then you can easily just go right to Saucebuck if you want to. But anyways, yeah, as you can see, yep, now here's where Cedric is. All this, yeah, here's where Cedric is. Ever since we last saw him. Oh, ditto. And you must be Bianca. I'm the other, her Professor Juniper. The Professor Juniper who gave you the Pokédex is my daughter. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Professor. Thanks to Professor Juniper. I got to go on a journey and start figuring out the possibilities for my life. I'm very, very grateful to her. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you very are. Is that right? Grand. Actually, we should chat later. Ditto, Bianca. So now here's the situation. Some members of Team Plasma tried a large group, broke through the tower wall and went inside. Brycen and that young man, I believe his name is Cheren. Yeah, those two. The two of them went after Team Plasma, but Professor, what's the Dragonspiral Tower? Yeah, she's about to get a big load of information. Ha! I guess you would be curious. Well, I'll explain briefly. Dragonspiral Tower has stood tall since long before Unova was founded. On the top floor, the legendary dragon-type Pokemon waits for a person seeking truth to appear. Or if you were playing Pokemon Black, it would be the dragon type that seeks out ideals. Yeah. It's admirable of you to join the fight against the Team Plasma, but it's risky too. Oh, don't worry. Ditto and Cheren are both really strong, and they've beaten Team Plasma before. Yeah, we surely have. But I'm not all that strong, actually. I'll admit it. I'm not very strong. So, I was thinking, it would be nice if maybe I could stay here and be your bodyguard? Yeah, she's doing the same bodyguard business. Like she was Cedric's daughter's a bodyguard. This is all I can give you, but it might help you rest. And he gives us an item that you're probably not gonna get that much. That being the old Ghetto. Still, what could Team Plasma be after? And even after he briefly explained about the legendary dragon Pokemon that lives there, Yeah, he briefly just explained, and yet he doesn't know what Team Plasma is after. Yeah. But anyways, everyone. Yeah, okay, now for this area. Now is where we get to go. I'll love with some water. Oh yeah, as you can see, yeah, that a wall that Team Plasma actually broke through. Yep, that right there is indeed that very wall that they actually broke through. But anyways, everyone, now as we got to this area, now I can talk about the Pokemon that actually lives in the water here. And the base game, you can only really find Basculins again. But however, though, in terms of post-game, yeah, when you get to fishing, yeah, this is actually the location where you can try to get Dratini, Dragonair, and if you're lucky, a Dragonite. So yeah, you can. So yeah, when you actually get to post game, yeah, this is where you can actually get the entire Dratini line. So yeah, if you want your usual Dragonites, then all you have to do is simply just go here. And really, Vanillish, you're an ice type, and yeah, you didn't even want to bother using an ice move against me? Yeah, especially towards the Semi-Sage? Really, man? Okay, I shouldn't, yeah, obviously I shouldn't complain too much, but I'm just questioning their logic here. But anyways, 76 level 40, and very nice plus 2s and 3s, all around. Oh, here we go. Now here's where we finally get to battle against the evolution of the Pokemon whose spider webs actually made us get a spider web at the entrance to Charstone Cave. Galvantula! Yep, Galvantula, the evolution of Joltik. Now, Galvantula, yeah, I believe, yeah, when you actually do get yourself a Galvantula after going through, after utilizing, Joltik for a while, yeah, Galvantula really does become a reliable Pokemon for you to have. Yeah, especially if you want a decent, bug and electric type Pokemon with you. Yeah. But anyways, and the TM contains the TM for Embargo. Yeah, that move is essentially the move that essentially it prevents the opponent from being able to use any sort of items like say potions and forest stores on your Pokemon. So yeah, that surely is something. But anyways. Yeah, now we have you, who she says that, yeah, she really wants to overtake us. But we shall see if she can. Not so much, with her having a friggin' Cupchew, still. Oh, Cupchew, you. Alright, let's see if we can defeat you quite easily. Alright, take my Seed Bomb. And, yep. Yeah, considering this is a Cupchew, yeah, it was pretty easy to defeat it. Oh, here we go. Another Darmanitan, which means it's finally the time. I finally get to show off my Crocodile now. Yeah, we essentially get a rematch up against a Darmanitan that my Krokorok sadly lost to last time. Now you get to see firsthand just how much stronger that my Krokorok has gotten ever since it evolved. Yeah, now that my Crocodile's more faster, well, mostly because it's more high leveled, but we defeated it in one shot. Yeah, that's right. How do you like that, Darmanitan? But anyways, now we're actually facing off against another Leavanny again, which definitely feels like a long time since we last seen one. Cause yeah, since the last Leavanny we fought against was freaking Bergs. And again, as I said before, yeah, we encounter Swadloon. Our first encounter with a Swadloon happens later after our first encounter with Bergs like Leavanny. And yet, as you just saw, we don't really see it Levania again until here. Like, again, I just find that extremely odd to me. Like, extremely odd to me. Now, okay, now that's all the trainers that are here. Now, however, now as we go inside of the tower, now there are Pokemon that you can find within the first 2 floors of the tower. And then let's just say, yeah, they're actually a Pokemon that we may have already saw just now. Oh, but anyways, yeah, you may have saw that quake. Is what? Is something going wild at the top of the tower? Maybe we'll find out as soon as we actually start climbing. As soon as we actually start climbing this bitch. And now as we're going up to the 2nd floor, yeah, once again we have Cheren calling us out. You can walk on. You can walk on the fallen columns too. I'm going after Team Plasma. Yeah, surely am. Now Cheren says that we can walk along these columns to make it over there, but if you happen to have strength, you don't really need to. Yeah, if you just happen to have strength with you, you don't really have to bother with it. But I may as well show off what it's like if it just happen to not have strength on you. Okay, now as for the Pokemon that you can really find here, now on the 1st floor, now you can still also find Mienfoos and Druddigons. If you just so happen to not find them earlier, like I did. But for the 1st and 2nd floor is where you can find a wild Ghetsis. Yeah, and I say the 2nd floor for Ghetsis is because, yeah, on the 2nd floor, only Ghetsis shows up before this floor only. Oh wow, magnitude 9. Okay. But yeah, so that's why I was hoping I would save my Ghetsis encounter until now. Cause yeah, Ghetsis essentially has a 100% chance of actually finding, of actually encountering one. So yeah. But anyways, now we have Ghetsis, the automaton Pokemon. Yeah, Ghetsis are very automatons, alright. And they definitely become more as such after they evolve too. Okay, everyone. Now, as for Dragonspiral Tower as well, you may see something that is very similar to. Oh, really, Ghetsis? Really? Really? One step after doing that, after I finally got one of you, another one just has to spawn in already. But anyways, as I was saying, now as we climb up this tower, you're gonna see something that's very similar to another tower in a previous Pokemon game that we've already done. Yeah, as you see here, multiple jump ramps. Yep. They once again utilize multiple jump ramps in a tower again. Which means, yeah, you're definitely going to be hearing a lot of that, a jump-in sound effect in this tower. But anyways, I feel like this should be my stopping point for the time being. Alright, everyone, so with that said, that's what I'm going to do for now. And we're gonna climb up the rest of this tower for the next part. And so, till then, I'll see you guys next time.